still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect Organism.
I finally got around to playing Alien Isolation, and it has immediately become an all-time favorite of mine. A masterpiece of atmosphere and immersion. The retro-futuristic art design is just so aesthetically pleasing. Sometimes I just stare at the furniture and computers, analyzing the clicking and beeping.
Infections spreading. Make sure there's no chance of the human race ever making contact with it again, because the moment it makes contact...
I'm eccentric that Alien Isolation decided to mold the game in this way, because not only is it beautifully designed, but also an accurate portrayal of what people in the 20th century envisioned the future would be like. Helps expand the immersive experience, plunging players into a world where technology is simultaneously advanced and clunky, reminiscent of the sci-fi visions of the past. The use of retro-futuristic elements in art and design often evoke a sense of nostalgia, while also sparking curiosity about the imagined futures of earlier generations. In the case of Alien Isolation, the incorporation of such design elements not only adds to the game's atmosphere, but also enhances its storytelling by grounding it in a believable, retro-futuristic world. While many modern games and movies opt for the slick and minimalistic sci-fi designs, there's something uniquely captivating about the bulky, retro-futuristic aesthetic. Sure, the trend towards user-friendliness in technology is understandable, but there's a certain charm in the complexity and unwieldiness of older designs. Take for example, the visceral satisfaction of hearing robust gears turning or the tactile sensation of pressing mechanical buttons. It's an experience the modern, minimalistic designs can't quite replicate. As someone who grew up lugging around the original Xbox, I appreciate the nostalgic appeal of clunky consoles and plain loading screens. Enter Alien Isolation, a game that embraces this retro-futuristic ethos, from its meticulously crafted environments to its deliberately cumbersome gameplay mechanics. It's a love letter to a bygone era of sci-fi, playing as a survivor navigating the dark corridors of a derelict spacecraft. You feel more like Isaac from Dead Space than Master Chief, and that's precisely the point. Graphically, Alien Isolation still holds up remarkably well, even years after its release. While the cutscenes may show their age, the in-game visuals remain stunning, outshining many contemporary titles. But it's not just about the looks, it's about the immersion. The gameplay loop, which revolves around stealth, puzzle solving, and the occasional combat, is masterfully executed, with the Xenomorph serving as a relentless and terrifying adversary. Alien Isolation introduces other threats besides the iconic Xenomorph. Hostile humans and androids offer more straightforward encounters. The low-budget androids' friendly words being juxtaposed with their lethal actions emit an uncanny and terrifying aura. It's the alien itself that steals the show, however. Unstoppable, vicious, and always lurking, it forces the player into a tense game of cat and mouse, where sound becomes their most valuable ally. The game's weapons and tools, while limited in effectiveness against the Xenomorph, are ingeniously designed to fit the survival horror motif. From the jittery handling of firearms to the ingenious motion tracker, each tool adds to a sense of vulnerability and dread. Character-wise, Alien Isolation falls somewhat short, with most figures feeling flat and forgettable. Even the protagonist, Amanda Ripley, lacks depth, her motivation and personality remaining largely undeveloped. However, there's a certain relatability to Ripley's fears and vulnerability, which resonates despite the lack of narrative depth. The desperation to survive made her feel human. It was enough for me to enjoy her presence and her as a character. Samuels is the only other character worth mentioning. When I first started Isolation, I was slightly distracted. I missed out on obvious signs that Samuel was a synthetic, which led me to be genuinely shocked when Samuels died. His line,
"You're dying."
You talk like I've had an actual life. I thank you for that.
Samuels.
The Apollo transit is open. Once you get into the core, it will talk to you.
You did that for me.
I wanted Amanda Ripley to have closure.
hit me dearly. As for the story, while it may suffer from pacing issues and occasional lulls in the gameplay, the overall experience is cinematic. The moments of scripted tension and atmosphere elevated the game. immersing players in a world that feels ripped straight from the Alien franchise. The allure of retro-futurism in Alien Isolation extends beyond mere aesthetics. It's a fundamental part of the game's identity, from the clunky, utilitarian designs of the spacecraft to the gritty industrial feel of its interiors. Every detail contributes to a sense of immersion rarely seen in modern titles. The team at Creative Assembly painstakingly recreated the look and feel of the original Alien film, drawing inspiration from its iconic sets and props to create an experience that feels both nostalgic and fresh. One of the game's greatest strengths lies in its sound design. Every creaking floorboard, the distant thuds, and ominous hum serves to ratchet up the tension, keeping players on edge as they navigate the darkened corridors of the Sevastopol station. The aliens' eerie screeches and guttural growls are enough to send shivers down your spine, while the relentless ticking of your motion tracker serves as a constant reminder of the dangers lurking just out of sight. But it's not just the sound that immerses you in the world of Alien Isolation, it's the gameplay itself. The mechanics of hiding, sneaking, and evading capture feels intuitive yet challenging, forcing players to think on their feet and adapt to the ever-changing circumstances. Each encounter with the xenomorph is a heart-pounding affair, as you desperately search for somewhere to hide while praying that the creature doesn't sniff you out. Alien Isolation excels at making you feel utterly alone in a hostile environment, cut off from any hope of rescue or escape. The dimly lit corridors, malfunctioning equipment, and the sparse human settlements all serve to reinforce the idea that you are truly alone, with only your wits and courage to guide you. Of course, no discussion of Alien Isolation would be complete without mentioning its incredible attention to detail. From the retro-futuristic computer terminals to the meticulously crafted set pieces, every aspect of the game oozes authentic love for the source material. It is clear that the developers poured their hearts and souls into creating a game that not only pays homage to the Alien franchise, but also stands on its own as a masterpiece of interactive storytelling. In the end, Alien Isolation is more than just a game, it's an experience. In conclusion, Alien Isolation is a masterpiece of atmosphere and immersion, ranking among the best horror games of all time. While it may never receive a sequel, its legacy as a must-play experience for the fans of the Alien franchise is assured. And who knows, perhaps one day we'll revisit its terrifying universe, exploring new planets and investigating ancient ruins in search of new horrors to encounter.